Ever since my daughter went to grade school, so we're talking back in the 90s, she's like, "Mom, we have to recycle." And I was like, okay, well, how do we do that? We do our best to recycle and reuse as much as possible. And they actually have bins. They're inside of a box that's got a chain on it. And it's to keep the bears out. So they have one section for plastic and metal containers. Ever since my daughter went to grade school, so we're talking back in the 90s, she's like, "Mom, we have to recycle." And I was like, okay, well, how do we do that? And back then, the recycling programs were not that great. All your drink beverages, you took back to the recycle department, and that was it. You didn't recycle containers, milk jugs, everything just went into one bin. As time has progressed, we've gotten better at the game. So we do our best to recycle and reuse as much as possible. When we're at home base, it's not really a problem. We have our systems in place that we use, and we take some of it we have containers for at the RV park where we call home base, and some of it I take away to the Return It Center. We have many of them close by where we live. When we're on the road, it's kind of annoying because we made a chili, and you have like cans from beans and the stewed tomatoes and that sort of thing. So you've got all these cans and you don't want to throw them into the waste, so you recycle them. And when we were on the road earlier this year, we had a heck of a time trying to find an appropriate spot to put them. So we carried them around, bagged them up. We eventually ended up giving it to a friend. So this week we are in Crossford Bay, and I noticed that the bins out there, they say recycling. So let's go take a walk, and we will have a look and see what can be recycled at this RV park. So I'm down here by the garbage bins in Crossford Bay at Kokanee Chalets, and they actually have bins. They're inside of a box that's got a chain on it, and it's to keep the bears out. So they have one section for plastic and metal containers, one section for bottles and liquor bottles. Let's go see what's over here. Ugh. Yeah, cardboard and paper. I just tripped on something. And then paper so they have the full gamut as far as all the recyclables that I need, and I can put them in their different containers here at this RV park. So yay, way to go, Kokanee Chalet. Inside the trailer, I have a blue bin, and in the blue bin is things like glass, plastic, tin cans, and paper. And then we have another bin underneath the sink. That's got all our compostables. So that's not a huge problem. Not as much of a problem as tin cans and all that sort of thing. Yeah, so let's figure out what we're going to do with all this stuff. We're back here at home base, and we're still talking about recycling. In our own community here at the Peace Arch RV Park, where we call home base, we have some garbage cans available to us for general garbage. The third one over there is a green bin, and so anything that's compostable would go in there. And the last one is cardboard. What they have here is for bottles and cans, which in BC we pay a deposit on those, and also now milk jugs, so we pay a deposit on that as well. I also make it a thing that I do, and I collect and separate all my tin cans, plastic bottles that are not refundable, and I take them away when I take my bottles and cans to the Return It Center for my deposit back. Anything to save a nickel, right? And yeah, so that's what we have here, and I will show you how we link things together here in BC, or in the Lower Mainland anyways. I've been fairly successful throughout BC finding Return It Centers to take our recycling to. So we will continue this conversation back at the home base. So moving forward, this is what I do at home as far as recycling goes. So I'm just going to turn the camera around. As I mentioned, inside we have this blue bin. Right now, that's about a week's worth of stuff. We were away and I haven't sorted it out. So there's paper, there's tin cans, there might be a glass jar in there, and there's some probably plastic containers from our barbecue sauce. Then we have another bin. When we go outside, when we're on the road, we put all of our containers, our bad habits, into the little mesh bag that doubles as a laundry bag. Not for us. I have a different laundry bag, but it just says laundry on it, but it works great for throwing your cans and stuff out the door so you don't have that stench inside your trailer. The smaller bin gets sorted into this bin, and I have a couple different bags, and I'll just show you what I do with that. Now I've sorted everything out. This bag is full of all of our paper stuff, which I will take to the front. This bin is going to hold the bags with the cans and that sort of thing. So this one's empty, it goes back into the trailer. This one's empty, it goes beside the stairs. So I have a bag which includes dog food bags, can be recycled. So that goes in there. Then I have another bag full of bottles, cans, that sort of stuff. Bailey, come here. Bailey's over there crying for some reason. Okay, and that goes on top of it, keep things from blowing away. Now, plastics, we've all gotten the 6-pack that has plastic on it, and I've always cut the bits out of that, and then, ow, Bailey, please don't. I've always cut it apart so that there's no loops in it, and it can't get caught on any birds or fish or whatever if it ends up in the oceans. I started doing that when I saw, I want to say it was Happy Feet, and there was a penguin with these little loopy things holding he was trapped inside of it, so, and then he was freed. But it might have been another show, maybe Madagascar actually, now that I think of it. Anyways, and then I make sure I don't leave any bits behind. Then as far as our drink containers, here in BC, like I said, there's a deposit on all drink containers, including now milk jugs, the plastic milk jugs that you get, and the cartons. So they will go in their own bag. All the cans, beer or pop or otherwise, they go back into their boxes. Just makes my life easier when I go back to when I go to the Return It Center, I just plop them on there and I don't have to do my sorting there. So every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks, whenever it just looks like it's getting out of hand, I run up to the Return It Center that's closest to me, and they let me bring all this stuff in, and then I feel like they will do the responsible thing as to where that needs to go, where everything needs to go. I don't really have all the answers when it comes to recycling. I've just been doing the best I can, following the guidelines that are laid out by the Return It BC website. I'll stick the link to that website below, and if you're in our province, you can find out where you can take your recyclables, and get a little coin back too for those drink containers that you have to pay a deposit on. I like to try and be as responsible as possible, so I'm curious, when I come to visit your state or province, where can I find out information on where to bring my recyclable items? And how do you recycle when you're on the road? What do you do to keep plastic bottles and tin cans out of the landfill? I'm curious. What do you do? How do you recycle when you're on the road? That's all I wanted to share with you this week. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you see. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Bye for now. RV park where they allow us to stay for long periods of time. Bailey's wanting to walk. So this is what the setup they have here. Now we have quite a few return centers in our area where we can take our bottles because we pay a deposit on bottles and cans and milk jugs. But for people who don't want to hunt down those spaces and to try and take two, recycling. Hopefully Bailey can behave herself for 5 minutes here. When it comes to recycling, I don't have all the answers. I really don't. I just am curious as to... Hang on, let's start that again. Start again.